Hello guys, my name is Akshama Agarwal. Today we are going to discuss an interview question which is asked by the Google in January 2024. So this is the question asked by the Google, that is Common Friends script. Now first of all, we are going to analyze the question and make a strategy, right? So the question is, we are going to analyze a social network data set at Google, and our task is to find the mutual friends between the two users, Karl and Hans. Okay, so we have the two users, Karl and Hans. We need to find out their mutual friends. And our output should contain user ID, username columns. And there is one more line over here. There is only one user named Karl and one named Hans in the dataset. Means we need to take only the two users, Karl and Hans. We have two data frames, users and friends. Users consist of two columns, that is user ID, username. Friends consist of two columns, user ID and friend ID. Now, our first step is we have given only the names, right? First of all, we are going to find out the user IDs of both Hans and Karl. Because in the friends table, we have only the IDs, right? So that the very first step is we need to find out the user IDs of both Hans and Karl. Then secondly, we need to find out their friends, right? With the help of the friends table. We have find out the user ID. With the help of these user IDs, we are able to find out the IDs of their friends. Then friends of Karl and Hans separately. After finding their friends separately, then afterwards our third strategy is find out those users which are common in Karl and Hans friends. Okay, then find out the common IDs between these two. Okay, after finding the common IDs, we are able to get our output, that is user ID and username. Okay, now let's write down the code. So this is the question is available on the platform named as Stratascratch. Now we have already discussed the question. Now I'm going to write the code. So as we all know, in Python, we have the library pandas, which is used for the data manipulation. So first of all, I'm going to import the pandas library. Now, the very first strategy is finding the user ID because the username is given. And we have the two tables, users and friends. Now let's find out the Karl ID. Users. Now users consist of the column username, that is Karl. Now what do we need to find out? The user ID. So I'm going to write here the user ID. Now let's run this code. Wait a minute, there is a bracket should be there. Now let's run the code. Now we are getting the user ID, but we need only a number, that is user ID. For that, I'm going to write here the iloc, which is used for finding the particular value based on the index. Now here index is 0. I'm going to write the index 0. Now let's run the code again. Now you are able to fetch the index 0 value, that is 1. Now in a similar manner, I'm going to find out the ID of username Hans. Similarly, I'm going to write the code. I'm just going to copy it to save the time. Now here I'm going to change the name only. Let's run this code. Okay, now we are able to find out the Hans ID. Now, what is our next step? To find out the friends of Karl and Hans separately. Let's find out the Karl friends. Now, how do we find out the Karl friends? With the help of the data frame friends. Friends. And we are going to compare the user ID. Should be equal to the Karl ID. Okay. Let's see what will be the result. So we have find out the Karl IDs friends 3 and 5. Similarly, I'm going to find out the Hans friends. Just going to copy the code. Now let's see the output. Hans friends are 3 and 4. Right? Now, what do we need? We need to find out the common values between these two. Right? So, how do we find out the common values? We have the operator that is in. Now, the common values. So, first of all, I'm going to call the call friends. Call friends. Then I need to find out friends. Then I'm going to pass here the friend ID. Now I'm going to use the is in operator. Dot is in. Then is in will be present in the Hans friends. Hans friends. Then friend ID. Right. Okay. Now let's run it to see the common values. Now there is only one common value, that is 3. Now what do we need from here? That is only the friend ID. So I'm going to write here the friend ID. Okay. Now what will be the value? That is friend ID. Okay. Now, but the output consists of user ID and username. So we have the ID. We are going to pass it in the users table to find out the user ID and username. Okay. Now next, just going to write the mutual friends. Mutual equal to users table. And in users, we are going to compare the user ID. User ID, it should be is in. Again, we are going to use the is in operator. Is in operator is, that is the common. In the common group, we are going to find out we have the friend ID over there only, so we need not to write any column, right? So I'm going to write here mutual. Let's see the output. Now we get the output, that is the user ID and the username. So this is the common friend between Karl and Hans. I hope it is clear to all of you. If you find any doubt, any query, please tell me, okay, in the form of comments. So I will really try to help you out. So thank you all.